Alright, welcome back to another episode of Match Analysis. This time around, we're heading to the NA West, week number 2, North American League of the MK11 Pro competition. This is all online, and we've got Krispifungus, a familiar face around the Nightmare series, our resident Knock Noddin, and he is making his entry into the NA West. He's in top 8. This is losers semifinal, so guaranteed 4th place here, and he is up against none other than Avirk, Scorpion extraordinaire, an incredibly talented player. We saw him at the We Playful event as well, overseas with one of the last offline events that we had. So really strong competitors here. Big shout outs to Krispifungus making it this far as well. Now, we know Krispifungus primarily for his collector, but here he is going to go with Joker out of the gate. And also, in the same vein, we know Avirk for his Scorpion, and he is going to go with Johnny out of the gate. Now, when we take a look at variations here, we do see the Kapow. That's going to be the combo boxing gloves here from Joker. That's going to give him a almost safe combo extender. It's like minus 19, but with so much pushback that very few things can actually punish it. And then we've got the Jumping Jester, so that's going to give him some access to some Oki setups as well. You can end your combos in that. The Jester comes down from above while they're standing up, and they have to deal with it. Here on Avirk's side, he's basically playing one of the customs that already existed, Showstopper or whatever it is. So he's got the Say Cheese camera, and then the Crushing Blow off of those sunglasses, which is massive damage. So let's hop into round number 1. Now, right off the bat, Avirk is looking to get aggressive, trying to swing with that low. A lot of players like to run away at the start, so I don't necessarily blame him for going with back 3. The range on back 3 is quite quick. Problem with back 3 at the start is it's not very fast, right? So it's not quick enough, and Crispy had a different idea. He's throwing a Jack-in-the-Box out. He's spending meter right at the top. He knows the meter comes back for free, so he wants as much uptime on meter recharge as possible. Spend the bar immediately. So first hit does go the way of Krispifungus here. And there's that Jack-in-the-Box, spending 2 bars even, and not getting a lot out of it, but he does have the life lead, and he can potentially be building frustration points on his opponent's side as well. Nice breakaway from Avirk, but man, Krispifungus is still just catching him over and over again. Bang, bang, bang. And look at this life lead right now for Crispy. Now, one thing to note, we were looking at the variation screen not too long ago, throwing shades on the table. So Avirk has access to like 50% crushing or fatal blow cancel combos here. So any kind of life lead against a Johnny Cage with sunglasses equipped is not one that you can feel too comfortable with, because it very easily could get snatched away. Alright, Jumping Jester across the screen. Batsy Poo coming out as well. And because Krispifungus has such a healthy life lead, he feels more confident. Just, I'm going to throw some zoning out here. I don't need to overcommit to any pressure. So, and that's part of why you see him just kind of throwing out the zoning, throwing out the Jack-in-the-Box, spending the meter again, just looking to find a way to get through the last bits of health Avirk had. Avirk mistimes his flawless block, and Crispy takes round 1. So here's that Jack-in-the-Box setup here. Now that Jumping Jester setup that he went for, it is somehow nullified by, or somewhat nullified by the delay get-up. Avirk does not get up immediately. He waits, and because he does delay, that Jumping Jester ends up whiffing. Now the other problem, or the other thing that happens because he does delay is when you do delay, you can't get up with anything else. So Krispifungus feels confident in applying his pressure. So he's just going to apply pressure anyway. You avoided the Jumping Jester, but you still have to deal with the follow-up because you did the delay. There's that camera coming out. Say Cheese. I believe that's even the name of the move. Nice jump over the get-up attack. Joker's get-up attack doesn't have a lot of coverage above his head. You've got characters like Sindel who scream and it covers above. And there's a handful of others that also have really, Gears has got sand that comes out from all over him. But for Joker, he's only kind of kicking right around here. It can catch people out of the sky, but Avirk had the right timing to get over that, and he's going to turn this into full damage here as well. Now, another thing to note is he doesn't have Nut Punch, right? He's got access to the camera, so because he has the camera, he's not going to be doing combos ending in the camera, so he will likely be ending his combos in like Shadow Kick or something else, because he doesn't have a restand ender anymore. He loses Nut Punch for this camera that he's got. There we see the camera coming out again here. And there's the Shadow Kick ender on the combo. So Shadow Kick ender, there's no Nut Punch restand, so Shadow Kick ender is the way to go. And it's a good ender. It does good damage. Oh, he went for the crushing blow there. Krispifungus trying to get cheeky with it. That's one of the more... I mean, both of these characters are the Fatal Blow cancel characters. And Joker's got one too. He goes for the cancel into the throw. Avirk doesn't take the bait, gets him with a poke. And then still ends up finding himself opened up though. And at the last moment there, Krispifungus catches the throw anyway. And that's going to be big damage. Look at this life lead now. He's just backing away now, waiting for the meter to come back so he can get that Jack-in-the-Box on the screen. And there it is. And Avirk mistimes the flawless block apparently. And Krispifungus takes game number 1. Very nicely done. I love the way that when he had the life lead, he was willing to just, okay, time to back away. I don't need to be overly aggressive. I have a really healthy life lead here. And I've got a character that has some projectiles that provide decent coverage. That Jack-in-the-Box Amplify is something that almost, not every, but almost every character has to deal with. The Batsy Poo projectile is fairly fast, so for players trying to jump around, you can catch them. So smart stuff from Krispifungus to kind of slow the pace down when he didn't want to take a big risk trying to get in. Particularly on Johnny, right? You risk it all and try to get in on Johnny and get caught, and that could be a disaster. So Avirk looking like he will be sticking it out with the Johnny Cage pick. And again, you know, we know him primarily for his Scorpion, but he is busting out his Johnny Cage here today, it would seem. Still a possibility we'll see Scorpion in a bit, but for now, it is going to continue to be the superstar. And same for Crispy, right? Crispy's playing Joker. He usually plays Collector, so... Alright, a little back and forth between these two. There's that Jester. I love the use of this Jester here. This string ends up hitting him out of the air, but because he's got the Amplified Jester coming down, it actually catches him on the way down. Avirk was pushing some kind of button, that's why we've got the counter hit popping over here. And because he gets caught, Krispifungus is actually going to go for a launcher here. Forces a breakaway out of Avirk, but just still continuing the pressure. More Jack-in-the-Boxes. No meter to amplify it, though, so that one actually ends up whiffing. Wasn't quite close enough. Ooh, what a spacing and whiff punish here from Avirk. Avirk is in, doesn't get what he wants, doesn't find the hit, so then he just backdashes out, and now he's backing up. Now he's gone. And he just lets Krispifungus whiff, right? Krispifungus is trying to swing. He saw Avirk finish his string and give up his turn, so he's like, okay, my turn, let me hit you. And doesn't find the mark at all. Completely whiffs, and Avirk is absolutely prepared. And he, of course, uses a great string for whiff punishing. Part of the power of back 3 is how far it goes. This back 3 kick that he gets way down low with is going to allow him to not really risk himself by needing to be closer to get the connection. He can stand farther back and then swing in when it's time. Short hop throw to close it out, though. And Avirk taking round 1. Krispifungus patiently, maybe a little teabag in there, I'm not really sure. Counter hit, doesn't finish the string, so no crushing blow. And immediate breakaway from Crispy as well. So right now in the full screen game, what's happening here is Crispy no longer has the life lead. So what was happening in the previous game, Crispy would get the life lead and he would back away. He'd throw Jesters out, he'd throw Jack-in-the-Boxes out, and he'd throw bullets out. But now that Avirk has the life lead, it's Avirk backing away. So Krispifungus has to get in. Now, what I like what Krispifungus does about having to get in is Krispifungus actually has a tool in the kit that lets him get in while preventing his opponent from keeping him out, right? A player cannot afford to sit there and throw force balls at him when the Jack-in-the-Box is on the screen. So now, Krispifungus is able to get in. One problem, though, Jack-in-the-Box is incredibly predictable with its flawless block timing. You can see that shit coming from a mile away. And Avirk, as strong as he is, he's ready for it. He's got the flawless block, and because he knows that Krispifungus is aggressively approaching behind it, using the Jack-in-the-Box to cover the approach, he flawless block launches him out of it. And there's no defensive meter to stop it, so he's going to get a clean 23% for it. Very nicely done by Avirk, and that's going to have Krispifungus questioning going for that kind of approach. Okay, this could be big here for Avirk. No breakaway to stop it. Has to end in the shadow kick, though, which sends things full screen. Fatal Blow available here for Crispy. Will he get the opportunity? Only 70 health. Avirk forces his way in. Fatal Blow cancel. That Fatal Blow cancel is really strong. But, I mean, Avirk is playing another character that has it, so if anybody's going to be familiar with it, it's a player that is also playing another Fatal Blow cancel character. So Avirk doesn't take the bait, finds the hit, or blocks it, actually, I think I should say, and then the throw to finish. Crispy didn't have a lot of life left, and a throw was all it takes to get the kill. So Avirk ties the setup here. And so far, no Scorpion still. He's tying it up with his Johnny Cage. So game 2 underway. We'll see if there's any switches from these characters. So looks like Crispy's going to be sticking it out here with his Joker pick. Now, his Joker has gotten him some really big victories in the past. He even won a Nightmare Series qualifier with Joker. So, not too surprised here to see him sticking it out with Joker. Joker's strong. But we'll see how this works out for him, because he does have, you know, as we all know, a really strong collector as well. His Kano's pretty solid, too. There's that jumping Jester, and he actually catches him. So Avirk, and part of this could be that Avirk doesn't run into a lot of Joker players that are running with the jumping Jester, but Avirk is not respecting that what goes up must come down. Normally the Jester goes up and it doesn't have a hurt box on the way down, but when you amplify it, as Crispy did, it becomes a threat on the way back down, and that threat is a combo starter if it hits you. It's like the best jump in the game. It jumps for you. Wasn't able to net it into too big of damage, but part of that is also because the defensive meter was going to be there to interrupt it. And this time, look at this. So Krispifungus, I love the adjustment. He sends out an amplified Jack-in-the-Box. Okay? He wants to get in, but he knows that Avirk has dealt with this in a manner that has cost him when he tried to get in. So he doesn't actually try to follow, but that doesn't stop Avirk from trying to show off again. He's like, I know how to get away with this. He goes for the flawless block attack, and Krispifungus is not there. So he's then again getting whiff punished there by that Cage. Still in this, though, absolutely. I mean, this is the first big hit that he's gotten here. Prior to this, he had basically done 1% damage here, and he's already missing 60% of his own health bar. But the Johnny Cage momentum is also extremely powerful, so he finds his way in. It's going to be full launcher, no breakaway to stop it either, and he does end up sending him full screen. So this is part of the problem for Cage when he ends his combos like that, is he's going to have to kind of force his way back in. And Krispifungus has the life lead, so he's not going to do anything to be overly aggressive. He's just backing away. Still backing off. And this is going to be it. Full launcher. Now, there is breakaway here from Avirk, but Avirk does save it for later. And we saw it earlier with Striker, saving your breakaway for later. If you don't panic breakaway right here, which is where I usually break away, to be honest. If you don't panic breakaway right here and you instead wait for the end, when the gravity and everything is much higher, now you're that much closer to the ground, but your opponent is still going to be stuck in these animations. And now when you break out of it, you actually get a punish. And what kind of a punish do you get? Well, when you're playing Johnny with all of this bullshit, actually he didn't go for the throwing shade shit. I thought he was going to go for bigger. Surprising sort of holding back there from Avirk. He might have just mistimed it or something there, but he had the sunglasses crushing blow, so he might have been confident that he could get away with it without it, but looking at the health bar that Crispy had, he was sitting at 60%. The sunglasses combo does not do 60%. It does at most, I think, about 50. I think it does about 50 at most. So I don't think it would have killed. So it might actually be a wise move to hang on to it until you know you can get the kill. An unfortunate little drop there, but had he caught him with something there, that could have been deadly. Because he still had the meter for another amplified camera. Alright. Gets him with the camera flash here. And now Avirk forcing Crispy slowly back to that corner, which is where Avirk's going to want things. He doesn't... I mean, Johnny Cage is a character that feels much more comfortable up close, right? He doesn't... He has a force ball, but that's not like his go-to. Alright, side switch on the throw. That's going to give Crispy more room to run away as well. So Krispifungus has been fond of kind of backing away, keeping the pace slow, not overcommitting to anything, so giving him now more room behind him is a good idea. This will be good for Avirk, though, and he gets a side switch off of it. The breakaway comes out from Crispy, but not going to be able to get anything afterward. Like we've seen Avirk getting. Ooh, jumps over it. Nothing happens, though. And here we go. This, now, like I said earlier, he saved it for later. Now is later, and this is going to be the kill here. Crispy has no breakaway to get out of this, and more than enough damage. Only 437 damage, though, so... You know, he had 60 health, or 60% of his health bar before, almost 600 health. Not going to be enough with the numbers looking like that. Needed more resources if that was going to happen. So smart of Avirk to hang on to it, honestly. Alright, bats out. Ooh, got caught. Now there is breakaway available here. Doesn't look... Oh, no, he does save it there. Or he does wait a little bit, but he does end up breaking. I like that idea. See what your opponent's combo route is. Get that gravity up a little bit higher so when you break out, you you're not landing as late. Ooh, fatal blow cancel here. Avirk has no health left. And the big boots there from Crispy will close it out. So Crispy's got the lead here now. Up 2-1 with this Joker pick. So far, we haven't seen Scorpion yet, though. That is something to keep in mind. Avirk is known for his Scorpion. Now with the sort of deck stacked against him, we'll see if he makes a switch back over to Scorpion. And it looks like it is Scorpion here. So Avirk's main squeeze coming out now in game number 4. But Krispifungus is 1 game away. I am so proud of Krispifungus. 1 game away from eliminating Avirk and claiming 3rd place. That's what we could be looking at here. So, Scorpion right out of the gate, a different kind of aggression here. It's no longer Johnny Cage. We are seeing Scorpion, this character. He can go for this teleport, and this move right here, Avirk's one of the best at doing it. You can hit confirm this. If they block it, you go into teleport and you cancel it. If you get the hit, you go into the combo. And that's exactly what Avirk does. Gets the breakaway out of the way. But now Crispy has no defensive meter. Ooh, caught him. Full range spear. Alright, here's the kapow. Now there is breakaway available, and Avirk immediately opts to spend it. The Joker's combo routes off of this are quite strong. But one thing to note with Avirk spending his breakaway is he now loses access to those teleport cancels for quite some time. It's going to be a while before he gets that first defensive bar back. And even then, he's going to have to worry about getting hurt if he does get caught by anything still. Look at this jab pressure here from Avirk, though. I mean, that was just a multitude of strings that never completed, and Crispy was just patiently waiting for them to finish. Alright. Into the corner with the throw. Nicely done with the switch. Also has the fatal blow. He canceled it there. But Avirk with the clean and crispy conversions turns that one around and claims round 1. He's also got Crispy kind of locked down here in the corner. Alright, nice throw. And more pressure here from Avirk, and just, you know, Crispy is so heavily on the defensive now that Avirk knows when, and he's throwing him for it. And no throw techs either from Crispy. Like, this is tough now. Avirk definitely seemingly having all the answers. Here we go. Burn him alive. Oh, burn him up again. And this time, the crushing blow off that throw is enough to kill, dude. I love this idea. You set him on fire for the restand, and then you hop in for a throw afterward. And because you've got the crushing blow queued up, the throw is lethal. It's not just a throw, it's a lethal throw. So Avirk, able to tie up the set 2-0, or 2-2. And the big thing here, too, look at this. Both rounds his. Almost 90% of the health bar still his. Like, this was definitely Scorpion in control here. And when we're going now into Game 5, when we look at who had the most recent success, who was coming off of the most recent dose of serotonin or whatever, dopamine, it's Avirk. Avirk is in there and doing well. He's playing really strong as we move into game number 5. So Krispifungus is going to need to sort of dig his feet in here, and if he can stabilize in game 5, because it appeared that Avirk had the answers for his Joker. He absolutely had the answers for his Joker. So as we head over to character select, we will be seeing a switch in character here. Krispifungus now going to rely on the scoundrel himself, Kano, to finish the job. Job's a job, mate. A job is a job. So Krispifungus' build here, as we are seeing a new character here on the screen. We've got the Chemical Burn. That's going to make that down one sort of shenanigans a little bit more threatening, especially when you include Lumbar Check in the list as well. So Tick Throws available. The Command Grab is on the scene. Do need to be worried about blocking for too long. Then we've got our Biomagnetic Pull. So that's that move we saw earlier in a match analysis where it was catching Abyss off guard when Biohazard was using it, because at ranges where typically Kano's not a threat, now he is with Biomagnetic Pull. And on Amplify, it's a very scary threat because it's a combo starter. And I believe they can hit confirm it. They don't have to amplify it early. They can amplify it after they see it hit. So down 4, Throwing Knife immediately from Crispy. And Crispy trying to perhaps catch his opponent off guard with the spacing here. If Avirk had tried to move in, I mean, essentially if Avirk had tried to get in through any means that wasn't a teleport, he might have gotten caught by this Biomagnetic Pull. But because teleport gets in completely out of the face of his opponent, it does allow him to get around that. And a crushing blow to follow up here. Look at this damage. 306 from Avirk. Crispy, not to be outdone, though, catches his opponent with the neutral jump here. So we see Avirk finishing the combo. And on Oki, he backs away, tries to catch him with a mid, perhaps, but Crispy jumped cleanly over it. Poke war happening. Acid's out as well. Man, Crispy very, very poke happy here. Ooh, alright, another command grab. You gotta be careful. And that's the threat, right? He's got the acid, he's got the 112 plus frames and stuff, and the threat of that makes that command grab much more threatening because you're afraid to let him finish the string, and he's not going to. He's going for command grabs and stuff. That command grab is so powerful for Kano. Kano's still alive. And there it is. The final hit. Avirk catches him. Avirk had to spend his fatal blow to do it. But a round is a round. Absolutely worth it, many would say. Alright, the acid's up. Acid's up again. Ooh, look at that. That is one of the dirtiest setups that the character can do. So he gets him with the acid here. This acid it's on him. Puts the fire down. And Avirk is like, I'm not going in that fire. And you know what Krispifungus says? Oh, yes, you are. Even on block, it drags Avirk into the fire, which triggers the acid plus fire concoction. The alchemy is done. They've mixed elements, and the unblockable damage happens. That is so dirty from Kano. Not able to combo off of it, but still deadly. Ooh, gets him with that Enziguri crushing blow. Gonna start to bleed him out here. And basically to the point where Avirk is a throw away from death right now. One more clean hit from Crispy will close it out. Ducks underneath. Here's a throw from Avirk, though. Lots of life to make up for if Avirk wants to take this to the clean 2-0. Krispifungus. Stray Kano Ball. Another good block from Avirk. I mean, that was Krispifungus risking it all, almost. And another Kano Ball does it, though. You see him starting to run out of defensive meter. Didn't have any health. That was starting to get to chip territory, so I like Krispifungus going for it. So this is it. Final round. Krispifungus could be sending Avirk home. Or Avirk will be moving on into losers finals, where I believe Scar was waiting for them. So huge talent in this bracket. Stacked on stacked. Big combo from Avirk. I love the side switch as well. Lumbar check, though, from Crispy. The overhead. Plus frames. But here's where things got a little squirrely on him. Kano players, they love their plus frames here off this string. My turn is what this string right here says. And Avirk acknowledged it was his turn and said, yes, it is your turn. And I would like to flawless block your turn. And this flawless block right here, when Kano is trying to control the pace, steal his turn, he's got plus frames, you have to deal with his nonsense. And typically that nonsense is down one Kano Ball, down one command grab. But if you flawless block it, you actually take that out of the equation. So Avirk with a crucial flawless block gets the launcher as well. Doesn't get the full combo, but he's already got Crispy scrambling here. So much, in fact, that Crispy goes for an uppercut. Expecting a throw, perhaps. Not surprising to expect a throw. Avirk just walked right up to him. But Avirk walked up to him and baited him. Like, this is Avirk really in control here. Crispy tries to uppercut. No one's home. So gets uppercutted himself. No meter for the kill. Krispifungus not done yet. And this right here broke my heart. He did it. There's a universe where he did it. There's a universe where Krispifungus does wake up to, launches his opponent into the sky, and then Avirk, with all of this defensive meter, with not a lot of this health left, it cuts off about his arm. Avirk goes for the breakaway, and Avirk falls into the waiting armor break of Krispifungus, and Krispifungus is our champion. Sadly, in this universe, all of that happened, but the timing was off. He goes for the breakaway. And oh yeah, this wasn't a get-up attack. This was a flawless block attack. We saw Avirk do it to Crispy earlier. Crispy does the same thing. But because the timing on the breakaway was earlier, or the timing on the back one was later, it doesn't land the hit. You see the blades, like, right here. Let's see if we can slow-mo this one. I hate to... if Krispifungus, if you watch this, I hate to drag this one out on you, but this is match analysis. And I don't think it was a guaranteed kill either here. He's got 443. It would have done maybe, like, 32 off of it. So he would have had about 10% left. But if you look, the blade is here. This is where the blade swings. And this is where Scorpion's feet are. This is pixels. This is fucking pixels of where he swung and where Avirk almost was. Like, this is barely too early. Barely too early. Now, Krispifungus is not in a great spot because he doesn't have any defensive meter, but he has forced Avirk off of his own defensive meter. And as we move through the rest, we'll see how this ends up. And oh, whoops. And it ends up with just a big jump here. What was that? What was that noise? Oh, it's Doom. Alright, that was weird. And It just ends up with Avirk jumping over. Crispy swings with a mid, doesn't find the hit, and Avirk on the way down. There was really nothing Crispy could do. Crispy gets hit, and his health was so low that was all it took for the kill. So Avirk is going to take it there, but what an incredible run by Krispifungus. He was so close to catching that armor break, which would have been huge. Wouldn't have been the kill, but it would have been close enough to where he could have really threatened for that victory. So, nonetheless, though, shout-outs to Krispifungus. 4th place in the Pro Tour is an incredibly strong finish here. And that's just week 2. Many more weeks ahead. More chances for Crispy to really show everybody what he's made of. So, big props to Krispifungus. And I just want to say it makes me feel so good that the players that I've watched kind of come up and play in the Nightmare Series are out there playing in these other events and putting on such an incredible show. And I don't want to take the credit. The improvement is all on you. You guys did this. I merely provided you the arena to practice in, and you guys got to grinding. And for those of you like Krispifungus that have been grinding consistently and been showing up every week to events to make sure that they're getting the matchup experience and the knowledge, and I'm sure not only taking that experience but applying it and going to the lab and what went wrong last week, what can I change? It is culminated in him making it to 4th place in the biggest tournament the scene has to offer. So big shout outs to Krispifungus. What an incredible finish. And that is going to do it here for match analysis today.